Alright guys, as promised, I'm going to be going over the 4-star characters and kind of what my thoughts on each one of them are, and kind of what it says about you if they're the one that you're going to be maining. For some reason in this game, I feel like the 4 stars are just dramatically cooler than the 5 stars. Like, I'm not sure why. But we'll just get on into it. We have Alto. Alto's going to be our 4-star arrow pistol user. He's super flashy, really cool. He's like a ranged, he's ranged, so he's naturally going to be a bit easier to play. I think if you're picking him, you honestly just love the element of the air. You probably like Last Airbender, you know, you're probably a pretty sweet, cool dude. He's just so flashy. I don't really get how anyone doesn't like him. Maybe his multipliers suck. I don't know. He seems super cool. And then you have Baiji. She's our Glacio Rectifier. She summons the little pet that fights with her. Honestly, you're picking her just because of how she looks. That There's not really much to say about it. I don't really know much about her, but she seems kind of boring to me. She kind of reminds me of that one girl from One Piece. Can't really remember her name. Fuji or something. If you like her, that's probably why you picked her. Chixia seems like this game's she's kind of a fan service character, but she's just your fun spunky fire user. She's a fusion pistol type. She's basically, if you like Alto, you probably like Chixia. It's just Chixia's for the people that want the girl, Altia's for the people that want the boys. I do think he's cooler, but obviously I'd probably just rather play her for obvious reasons. Moving on to Danjin. This is like the only Havoc user I feel like I've seen on the list. I guess outside of Tao Kui. From what I've heard from everyone in the beta, this is the 4-star everyone's going to use. This is the sword type Dark Souls character that people love. High risk, high reward. You're probably a Giga Sweat if you're maining this character. In terms of raw coolest dude in the game outside of the 5 stars, it's this one. Mortify, fusion pistols. Dude turns into a freaking dragon. I think he summons a dragon. I think he just seems really cool. I like his how he looks. Specifically, he kind of reminds me of Welt, but cooler and more stuff to look at. I like the growing destruction on his body and all that. He just looks really nice. We have my personal favorite 4-star here, Sanhua. She's our Glacio sword user. I don't know how you could possibly want to play this stupid Danjin girl when you could play Sanhua. Maybe elements are stronger for Havoc versus Ice or Glacio, whatever they call it. I think Sanhua by far looks the coolest out of all the 4-star characters. However, if you're not just looking for cool and fun and you want Big Boba, then that's where Tao Kui comes in. Havoc broadsword user. Apparently, she's a director of defense. Yeah, she looks like the director of defense. That's laughable. If you pick her, though, again, you're just a simp. Straight up. I mean, there's going to be 5-star characters to simp for. You don't really need to do it for 4 stars. Hopefully, she has a good spot in the story, and if you like pink hair, she's the one for you. Yang Yang, I just think looks stupid. I don't know. It looks like she has a bird on her head, and she has a beret. It's just... They have a sword user for basically all the elements here, and they're all going to be pretty viable and probably pretty fun to play, and you can main any of them. It's just when I look at the list, why would I pick Yang Yang? No reason. Lastly, we have Yuan Wu, who's kind of like our 4-star male simp character. He's Electro Gauntlets, which immediately lends us to the problem of no one's picking this dude if they're gonna pick Calcharo and Yinlin. Like, you don't need 3 Electro characters. Doesn't make sense. We already have the video talking about what I think about these two guys. Yeah, I just, if I'm doing like a off the bat tier list on who I think is going to be by far most popular in this game, I think everyone is either going to be Calcharo Yinlin type, right? Or they're going to lean into Ji Yan just because he's the first 5-star. And then outside of that, I think people are basically going to be playing Sanhua or Danjin for 4 stars. I think that makes sense. I think that's who most people are going to play. Again, we don't know much about the game. Game's coming out in just a few days. There's just early speculations. Let me know what you guys thought and who you're excited for. If I insulted your favorite character, tell me why they don't suck. Most of them I feel like are actually pretty cool, but they just don't hold a candle to those that are actually super cool.